order the February 11th, 2026 meeting of the Fond du Lac City Council. The first item of business is roll call, which is done electronically, which is why it took so long. But we are all present, so I will declare a quorum. The next item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, which is followed by a moment of silent reflection. Please rise.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda finalizes the proposed actions for the meeting. A, January 28, 2026, regular council minutes. B, list of claims dated February 2nd, 2026. And C, denial of claim, Deborah Scott. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Yep, I'll second.
Okay, is it not working?
No, we can't make a motion.
Okay. We'll do voice motions. And now we have a motion by Mr. Mullen, second by Mr. Heisler. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please proceed to vote. And that passes unanimously. Next on our agenda is audience comments, agenda and non-agenda items. The presiding officer will limit speaking time for non-agenda items to 1 minute and items noticed on the agenda to 5 minutes. Ms. Hunter, do you have any wish to speak? All right, we have two who would like to speak. First, we have Laura Valier, who would like to speak on the Bird City resolution on our agenda.
Thank you for giving me the time to speak this evening. I'm asking the City Council tonight to approve a resolution establishing May 1st and 2nd as World Migratory Bird Day. As we celebrated here in Fond du Lac, World Migratory Bird Day is celebrated May 9th. That's competition with lots of others, so we go 1 week early. There will be a photography program on April 28th at the Fond du Lac Public Library with Bob Hosey, showing some of his many pictures he has taken of our spring migrants. He takes 50 to 60,000 a year, but he promised to limit it to an hour, so it should be good. On May 1st and 2nd, we have a bird walk starting in the evening of May 1st at Lakeside West, which is a change to our normal pattern, walking to the boardwalk and the long way from the Baker. Should be very good for migrants, waterfowl, and the wonderful spring migrants passing through or beginning to pass through at that time. Saturday morning, we walk around Camelot Pond at 7 a.m. and at 10 a.m. we have a guided walk through the Greenway Arboretum with a bird sit at the north end from 11 to 1. Bird sit is something that when the birds come to you and at the north end, we have a good chance of seeing kingfisher fly up and down the river and many migrants going through the trees, as well as lots of woodpeckers because they've got a lot of homes and cavities in that area. So why do we do this? The Bird City Network's core goals include creating bird-friendly communities, establishing welcoming habitats by promoting conservation, addressing threats to birds, and engaging citizens in bird protection efforts. Promoting sustainable urban planning, encouraging the integration of bird-friendly designs into urban development, and raising awareness about bird conservation, educating the public on the importance of bird preservation through World Migratory Bird Day events and programs. First of all, I'd like to compliment our Public Works Department. They have been very conscious about putting in lights that have covers on them to focus the light down and not up, and some of the lighting is amber. So you'll notice that many of those kinds of installations have been done in our parks and along our streets where they're redoing them, and we're very appreciative of their consciousness to this bird habitat, very important bird habitat move. Then raising awareness about bird conservation, that's really a lot of what we do to try to get people to plant native, to encourage birds to have bird habitat in your yard, because your yard was once a prairie or a woodland, and now that is gone, but you can help the birds reestablish being in that bird habitat area by planting native trees, native flowers, And so a lot of what I do in Bird City community is to send out a newsletter almost on a weekly basis, encouraging that type of thing, and we hope that that's catching hold and increasing the birds in Fond du Lac. We also have been and are often the host to birds that are rare. We have a Harris sparrow, which is unusual for this area at Lakeside West, and has been with us about a month. We had an Icelandic gull that flew through once about a month ago, and there is a northern mocking-tail bird in Campbellport at the moment. So Bird City, there are birds in Fond du Lac that are worth paying attention to because we get rare birds periodically. We also have mergansers at Lakeside Park this afternoon. They nest up along the tundra above the Arctic Circle, so they're on their way north, and they're picking their open water spots, flying from one open water spot to another. We have to host them today. Looking at photos is also a part of teaching birds or people about birds, because birds and art go together. And so when you see birds a lot in photographs, finally when you see one outdoors, you'll know what it is. And that makes it so much more fun to identify them. Stephen Thompson right now has an exhibit at Thelma, and his show will be up until February 27th. And he will be there to speak with anybody about his craft on the 24th of February from 6 to 8 p.m. That's his photography show at Thelma right now. And Thelma is a free art exhibit. You can go at any time to be able to see that. So all of us help birds by creating habitat in our own yards, and adding the water element will improve that. And one last item that I would like to bring to your attention to help the habitat improvement for birds is please keep your cat indoors. It will be healthier and will spare many birds. It is estimated that every cat in the wild kills 2 birds each day. As taxpayers, we should care about those who have pets. Do you know that in 2025, we collected revenue as follows: 149 cat licenses totaling $1,590. Dog licenses were $10,422.19. But we spent $48,799.93 on animal control services. Let's license our pets and help reduce the taxpayer funds going to capture the strays and protect the birds that come to our neighborhood and make it more friendly. By ordinance, any cat that is off of your property must be on a leash. So if you remember that, all bird lovers would appreciate that very much, and so would the taxpayers. So I hope that you'll put April 1st or May 1st and 2nd on your calendar for bird walks, and also April 28th to come out and see Bob Hosey's photography of birds in art. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I hope you will approve the resolution tonight for Bird City.
Thank you so much. Next, we have David Bovair, maybe? Sorry, I'm not sure how to read the writing here. Who wishes to speak on ordinance number 3824, but I don't see him anymore. Oh, he didn't actually want to speak, but he did. So he did share some information with us on the ordinance. It looks like he was otherwise on the ordinance. All right, with that, I have no other audience comments. So we will move on to our action items. Action item A is a change of agent for Class B intoxicating liquor license and Class B fermented malt license. Entity is Thelma Sadoff Center for the Arts, Inc., agent name Paul Krikow, doing business as Thelma Sadoff Center for the Arts, business address 51 Sheboygan Street, and an introduction by our speaker, Ms. Tucker.
Thank you, President Rose. This is the standard agent change for Thelma Sadoff Center for the Arts, Class B liquor license. Background checks were done on the proposed agent, and city staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Tucker? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. And we'll do voice motion. Right?
Is it not showing?
Oh, is that working?
Make sure that you're
There we go. Motion approved.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Zimmerman and a second by Mr. Schisler. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, you proceed to go into Ms. Leary's vote. And that passes with 6 present and Ms. Leary just stepped out, so we'll have her abstain. Item B is a Class A intoxicating liquor and Class A fermented malt license. Entity OM Fond du Lac Oil LLC. Agent name Gautam by Patel. Doing business as Speed Truck. Business address is 351 Fond du Lac Avenue. Advisory alcohol license recommendation is to approve. And again, our introduction is by our city clerk, Ms. Hopkins.
Thank you again. O.M. Fond du Lac Oil will be purchasing a convenience store at 351 Fond du Lac Avenue. The proposed business plan is to keep everything the same. Background checks were done on the officers and proposed agent of the corporation. City staff and alcohol license committee recommend approval.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Hopkins? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Heisler and a second by Mr. Godfrey. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please proceed to vote. And that passes with 6 in favor and Ms. Leary currently abstaining. Item C is resolution number 9221. A resolution authorizing the grant of a utility easement to Alliant Energy across lands owned by the city of Fond du Lac. Our introduction is by our Public Works Director, Mr. DeVries.
Thank you, President Rowe. So this is an easement for Alliant Energy related to the RNG project, renewable natural gas. As I think we talked about during CIP and other things, that this is a big project for the wastewater treatment plant. And this is one of the things that Alliant Energy needs to be able to take the transfer of the gas and put it back into their system. So it's a very sustainable project, and we really want to support this. There's a lot of construction going on out there already, if you haven't been by there, but certainly I would recommend approval, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
All right, thank you so much. Are there any questions for Mr. DeVries? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Schussler and a second by Mr. Heisler. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please proceed to vote. All right, we're at item C. Would you like to vote? All right, that passes unanimously. Thank you. Item D is resolution number 9222. A resolution making appointment and reappointment to the Administrative Appeals Board for introduction of Fire City Manager, Mr. Moore.
Good evening, everyone. 2 people tonight for nominations. One is Deb Dahl for a reappointment. She's the alternate for the Administrative Appeals Board. And then a new nomination to fill an open seat is Jim Thomas. We all got to know Jim when he had a problem in his neighborhood. Saw him at a number of these meetings, and then he got interested in how things operate, so he submitted an application, and I'd like to nominate him for this position.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Moore? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Heisler and a second by Mr. Zimmerman. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please proceed to vote. And that passes unanimously. Item E is resolution number 9223, a resolution canceling the city council meeting for February 25th, 2026. Our introduction is by our city attorney, Ms. Hoffman.
Thank you, Ted to talk, Rob. We have nothing coming forward from any advisory committee traffic got canceled. There's nothing coming forward from the planning commission, nothing from the alcohol licensing, so there's nothing coming to council. So truthfully, there's just nothing we have to have a meeting for. So we're recommending you cancel it. We want to be respectful of your time. It doesn't make sense to have you all show up if we really don't have anything.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Hoffman? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Godfrey and a second by Mr. Schlissler. Is there any discussion? I was just going to say, we'd also like to be respectful of city staff's time, so we appreciate you bringing this forward. And I have Mr. Heisler who also wants to say something.
Thanks, Ms. Hoffman. Just a question, and then maybe you guys can just provide some context. I don't remember, but is it kind of normal at this time of year to have lighter agendas and potentially have a cancellation in January, February? I guess I don't typically remember on the calendar works.
I mean, it is lighter this time. I think it's the holidays and, you know, so, it's like there's always kind of a stuff coming through the hopper and it kind of slows down. It takes a little bit for it to fill.
And I'm assuming with the cancellation of some of those committee meetings, they'll get back on the rescheduled meetings and we'll have things from those committees in potentially March.
Correct.
Thank you very much. That's all my questions.
I think those are good questions. All right, seeing no other discussion, please proceed to vote. And that passes unanimously. Item F is resolution number 9224, a resolution declaring May 9th, 2026 as Grove Migratory Bird Day. For introductions by Director of Public Works, Mr. DeVries.
Thank you again. Yeah, so as Laura has always done a great job at laying out what the activities are and what this resolution is all about, I don't know that I need to add a whole lot to that other than to emphasize that the events are on May 1st and 2nd, as she discussed, and you know, we'll get some notices out about that, just to put it on people's radar when it comes up. But I do want to commend her and her group for bringing this forward year after year and putting the efforts. I do get her emails about the birds and the watching and the photos, and it's pretty amazing what we have here in Fond du Lac. So as a city, I think this is very worthwhile of supporting. It takes a little bit of staff time to fill out the application and send it in, but it's definitely worth it for our city and being able to put us on the map as a bird city. So with that, I recommend approval and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. DeVries? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Heisler and a second by Mr. Zimmerman. Is there any discussion? I'd just like to echo Mr. DeVries' comments. Thank you to the auditor for all the work that you do. I've had in the past opportunity to attend some of the events that are part of the World Migratory Bird Day, and it's just an excellent addition to our community to celebrate these creatures that we often just kind of take for granted or around, but there's some really, really cool things that we can learn and see, and it's great to take some time to appreciate them. Looks like we also have something from Ms. Deering.
I just want to say thank you also, and thank you to Laura earlier for, you know, all you do with the bird watch. It's amazing that we have these opportunities to go on tours and things in the city, in the different areas of the city. I've been on some of those too, and I really enjoy them. Thank you.
All right, with that, I have not seen any other discussion, so we will proceed to vote. And that passes unanimously. Item G is ordinance number 3823, an ordinance rezoning 467 Walker Street, FPL 1517-1532, 36400, from C2 General Commercial District to R1 Single Family District, and our introduction is by our city attorney, Ms. Hoffman.
Thank you again. I think that that's good with the pictures, so there's people can see where this is. That print's too small for me to tell you which one, but you can see, so that C2, but there is actually residential all around it, and it is currently a vacant lot. It had been, let's see, I think there's a picture of what used to be there in that thing. Yeah, it was a small commercial building. There,
There it is.
there, it was that, and, but as you can see, there's like residential next to it, and residential on the other side of it, and that is gone now, so, it makes more sense to do, residential lot, if they can be rezoned. And the plan commission recommended approval, so we asked that you do the same.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Hoffman? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Schisler and a second by Mr. Heisler. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please proceed to vote. And that passes unanimously. Item H is ordinance number 3824, an ordinance amending chapter 356 to create a license requirement for the sale of CBD THC beverages. Again, our introduction by our city attorney, Ms. Hoffman.
Thank you again. This is the same thing that I brought to you, a month ago? Yes, a month ago. And I've gotten one phone call on it. So it's the same thing that I brought to you before, but I did add in that we will amend the fee schedule to add the fee for the permit, and then add it in, there's a section that covers all permits, what permits are required, and added this as an additional required permit. So those two changes are made, but otherwise it's the same as I gave you before. And again, this is to deal with the gap in current law regarding hemp products that can, the THC, CBD drinks that are, have a mind-altering effect, and all this does is prevent those being served to minors.
Thank you. Mr. Godfrey.
First of all, thank you, Deb, for this. I just want to start off with the first thing. I am in support of regulating these products and keeping them away from people that should not be using them. But I spent the better part of last Friday, actually all day last Friday in Madison with a couple of our elected officials, and they're right now doing SB. Two bills, but there's two bills that are in Madison right now, and they don't have any regulars. They don't have anywhere in which way they're going. And we're gonna, from what I was reading, we're gonna have to bring this back again to update this ordinance again when they change their mind, when they give us the leeway of whatever how they're going. We're gonna have to redo this again.
Depending on what they
Depending on which way they go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to do this. So in that, would it be wise for us to just slow down with this a little bit and wait for them to give us what their decision is gonna be, or do we have to just go ahead and do this?
In that right now, this could be served to minors here, and in fact, I believe it is. So I really do not think that's a good thing, I really think we should pass something, and there's no guarantee the legislature will do anything. I mean, if they do something great, we will amend this to reflect, whatever the change in law is, but I don't think we should wait.
A retail person in that industry, can it happen? Absolutely. But I do know from personal experiences that most of our, a lot of our people that are selling the CBD products are not legally, they're not selling those to minors. They're not.
I don't disagree with you on that.
And that's from me being in that industry. And I know for a fact that we make sure that we are not putting those products in the hands. Can it happen? Absolutely it can. But I think like I said, I'm not trying to say we don't need it. We don't need it, but if we I'm done. Thank you. Because that's going to go into the, thank you though.
All right,
Mr. Mullin?
Yes, thank you for all the work you've done on this. You know, I originally asked for this because there is this loophole for kids. I agree that the, like the vape industry, they're very careful about what's legal, what's not. I don't believe they're selling to kids. What I'm more worried about with this is like the gas stations and, you know, I mean, they sell these products at bars, but kids aren't in bars. You know, I'm really more worried about these being available like in convenience stores and things like that. And yes, we're probably going to have to modify this bill to harmonize it with either federal or state legislation. But this loophole's been open for a long time, and they don't seem to be doing anything on it. The ordinance, the way it's written, doesn't have a lot of teeth, and that, you know, part of the reason for that is that, look, there's no penalty until we tell you about the law. I mean, so you kind of get a freebie. I think it just sends a message to people that, hey, look, this is not okay, and not that we have a big problem with that I'm aware of, but, you know, hopefully some people will think and not just order it into their convenience store and have it with all the other potions and things they sell. So, anyway, I'm in support of this. Thank you very much for all your work.
Thank you, Mr. Schlissel.
Thank you. Yeah, these written remarks, tonight, we thought the speaker was going to speak, we just provided these written remarks, and then Mr. Wolfright said there's some technical problems with the ordinance. Example, how can a citizen consumes a non-intoxicating licensed beverage, gets behind the wheel and is pulled over, or no WI, how can they be held accountable when the city itself is labeled their drink as non-intoxicating? Would there be some benefit to having more people look at this and deal with if there's some type of problem with the verbiage?
There's nothing in the ordinance that affects the OWI law. It will have no effect.
Hey,
Thank you. Mr. Heisler?
Thanks, Deb, and thank you for all the work on this. My only question is because we're looking at a piece that's, like Mr. Godfrey mentioned, we're probably going to adjust. Can you just kind of walk us through, if this passes this evening, how the adjustment process would work and how that, it would typically, because obviously this isn't the first time we've had to amend the ordinance because of what the state and or the federal government's done. So can you kind of just walk us through how that process works?
Sure. It'd be like every time we amend the ordinance, so I bring back a proposed amendment, saying we're changing it because the legislature passed the law, or the federal government passed the law, and they explain it, and then at the next meeting after that, you vote on it. So we'll get about a month to make a change.
Thank you for feedback, appreciate it.
Thank you. Ms. Waring?
I do like the idea of this. I feel like we're probably going to have to be doing some changes to this because in the future, because of the language in it, I just think it's open to some misinterpretation and, yeah. But I do like the idea.
Thank you. Ms. Mr. Zimmerman.
Thank you, President Ball. I'm in support of this, but just, we passed ordinances all the time, and people go, I don't know. So we passed this, what happened, is every gas station and convenience store, Walmart is notified of all this, or how do we actually enforce it?
Right. Well, they all have liquor licenses, so anybody that has a liquor license, when they get their renewal, we go through a whole process for that, we will alert them to this as well. So anywhere, if we know anybody that is, basically, if it's of beverages, we'll let them know about it.
Not until the renewal comes up, or like right when we... for the people, that's what they're gonna tell me.
So it does get published, and that is, under the law, that is their notice. But we did put right in the ordinance that you're not gonna get a ticket if you weren't aware of it. So if you weren't aware of it, you missed it, if we're doing compliance or there's a complaint and the police come in, if this is the first that they've heard of it, they're just gonna get a warning.
That's all I got, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Godfrey, for a second opportunity?
I just wanted to say thank you guys for doing this, but it is needed, because this loophole has been there for quite some time. So I didn't want to come off and talk to them, I was saying that we did not need it. This has been needed for quite some time, and thank you guys for actually bringing this to the city.
Thank you, and I appreciate the perspective that you shared with us, too. I mean, you know, Mr. Nolan, for a second opportunity.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify one thing. When you talk about non-intoxicating beverage license, that's just the mechanism, correct? We're not saying anything about the product. So as opposed to trying to put it under a liquor license, which is highly regulated, this is a way to get that in there without interfering with that much more stringent law.
Okay, thank you. I have not seen any other discussion, so with that, I will entertain a motion. We have a motion by Mr. Heisler and a second by Mr. Zimmerman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please proceed to vote. All right, and that passes with 6 yes and Mr. Godfrey abstaining. With that, we do not have any input items on our agenda, so we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Zimmerman, second by Mr. Heisler. This is not favorable, please proceed to vote.